Larry McCray spent his early years on an Arkansas farm, the second youngest of 9 siblings. His older sister Clara introduced Larry to the guitar and to the music of the 3 kings of the blues, Beebe, Freddie, and Albert. Virgin Records label Point Blank signed Larry as its first artist. And over the past 3 decades of non-stop touring and recording, Larry has shared the stage with B.B. King, Buddy Guy, Albert King, Johnny Winter, Keb Mo, and Kenny Wayne Shepherd, among many others. His new album, Blues Without You, was produced by Joe Bonamassa. According to Joe, Larry has a lot to say, and the world needs to know who he is.
I was born in Arkansas.
You're listening to Frets with DJ Faye. No lessons, no technique info. I just talk to people who play guitar. Stay tuned. Larry McCray, I'm so glad you had some time to talk. I know you're a very busy man.
Well, it seems to be these days anyway, Dave.
Yeah, well, it's good. It's good to be busy.
Yes, it is.
Well, I'm going to go way back. You were born in Magnolia, Arkansas, and you were the youngest of 9 children. So how many boys and how many girls?
1 girl, 8 boys.
1 girl. So your sister, Clara, right?
Yeah.
She played guitar.
Yes, she did.
She's the one that taught you to play. Is that right?
Right.
And
Yes. I moved in with her when I was 12 years old. And I didn't move in with her. I come to visit her in Michigan. When I was
okay.
12. She had already left, and I come for a summer vacation, and I never left after moving in before it was time to go back. My mother told her to keep me, that we were uprooting, the whole family was moving.
And Clara introduced you to the music of the 3 kings, B.B., Freddie, and Albert.
Everything. She introduced me, and she gave me my whole orientation to modern music.
Those guys obviously had a big influence on you at that young age, I guess.
Oh, for sure. For sure. You know, I used to, like I said, I came up here to visit with her for the summer. I was living with her, and during those days, you know, the musician guys would come over and they would put all the furniture back and set up right in the living room.
Oh, wow. And around that time, did you take up the saxophone, like in school, or?
I did. I played saxophone from junior high throughout high school, about 6 years.
Yeah. I attempted to play trumpet in school, and I was just terrible, and I gave that up pretty quick.
It's tough. Blowing horns are not easy.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I had the lungs for it. So, and then when you got out of high school, you worked at GM for a while on the assembly line?
Yeah, I went to GM right after high school.
But you continued to play the guitar, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, you know, I never thought that I would have a musical career. I didn't get into guitar because I thought I would have a career. I just love guitar. I just love music. So I played for myself and hoped that maybe, you know, one day I could gig or, you know, whatever, you know.
Yeah, I was the same way. I think a lot of us were. We just loved playing and wanted to learn. And
Exactly. Yeah, I was the same way.
So the first band you were in, is it a band you put together? Did you start it, or did somebody ask you to be in a band? Or?
It was me and my 2 brothers. It was me and my brother Paul, my brother Steve, and Clara had 2 kids. So it was 5, you know, 3 brothers and 2 niece and nephews.
All in the family. That's nice.
That was my 3 brothers, yeah.
Knowing a lot of, you know, different bands and seeing a lot of different live music over the years, all of that becomes just one big influence. And so I'm the type of bass player that it's like, what does this song need? What is the songwriter want from it? What's the groove? What's the feel? And so I'll think of, when I'm trying to figure out what to play on a specific song, it could come from some record I heard back in 1978 or something. It's like, you know, it just comes from anywhere. any record I've ever heard or, any band I've seen or whatever.
That's bassist Steve Scariano. Steve's story of the many bands he's been in, the bands he's seen, and the bands he's opened up for is coming soon on Frets. Well, the first album you put out, Ambition, that was recorded just in like a friend's basement in Detroit. What was the setup and recording equipment like?
Well, I think at that time he had a reel-to-reel machine. It must have been a quarter-inch tape or something like that off whatever they had back in those days. And I would get up in the morning and go down there and hang out till just before time for me to start work, that way I could still make the drive back and get to work on time. And I did that for months until I got the record mapped in and got it about together,
And then down the road, before you knew it, you toured with Albert Collins around that time, and I'd love to hear about that experience.
Well, right after I had made the record, I was the first artist signed to Point Blank Music, to the Point Blank label. So after I signed with them, here comes Donald Kinsey and the Kinsey Report. After that, it was Albert Collins. We were the first three artists signed over there. Beyond that, it came Johnny Winter, John Lee Hooker, John Hammond Jr., Pop Staples, Terry Evans, and, the list goes on and on. There were several other ones start there. But during those times, Point Blank really promoted those bands well, but they didn't promote anybody individually. It was all about Point Blank. Point Blank was in big letters. And then the artists would all be listed, smaller than that, underneath to show who they were promoting, but they were promoting themselves using us as their flagship,
Right. So it wasn't like you were opening up. You were all just kind of playing.
It was like a review. They put a review on the road. And, that was nice. Because it introduced me to all those people. Although I had known Johnny Winter before, but I didn't know Albert until the late 80s. I know him before we did the album thing, but I didn't meet him until 87.
Okay.
And, from that point on, I knew him and stayed close with him. So, after the label put the music out, it was a good thing. But he was Gary Moore's walk-on guest, and I was Gary Moore's support band for Still Got the Blues. So for 60 some odd dates, we did that in Europe, all over Europe.
How did you like touring back then? Was it
It was great back then. It was great then. I was young and, ready for the experience and ready to see and do some things. And it really was quite sweet and quite memorable. I got those memories for the rest of my life.
Right. Yeah, because eventually you toured with like Albert King and Buddy Guy, Jimmy Vaughn even.
Right, right.
Nice.
Albert King, believe it or not, was a walk-on guest too for a few of the days, for a handful of days. Like he played the Hammersmith Odeon and a couple of more places that we all played together. And that was quite the experience too, to see them two together and to hear all the conversations and everything that was going on behind the scenes, because they had knew each other for so long. Wow.
I love that.
Yeah, it was something else to experience. And those memories, you cherish for the rest of your life. In Detroit, Michigan, they have a Comerica Park. It's where the Detroit Tigers play ball right now. And I went into Comerica Park one day. This is years ago, not long after it had opened. And in the lounge area there, they have a place what they call Fifth Avenue. Fifth Avenue was a place in Royal Oak where all the blues bands used to play at. And I was a Fifth Avenue band too. Long story short, that guy that owned that club bought a space up in the Comerica Park building and put Fifth Avenue in there. So I'm going around and I'm looking at all the different pictures and everything on the wall. And lo and behold, I seen a picture of Albert Collins. I recognized it right off the bat. But then when I looked into the background, I saw myself on the picture, and I remember the night where it was at and everything. And that was quite a pleasant surprise to me. I remember that like yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was kind of fun to go in and find a picture of yourself in a place that you had no idea that you might be in there,
Yeah.
Yep, and on the photo with Albert Collins, that made it even sweeter.
What if it was possible to get local fresh groceries delivered right to your front door? You could take up guitar lessons with all that free time. I know a guy. Or learn the tuba. I don't give tuba lessons, but my point is, you'll have the extra time. Instacart gives you unlimited grocery delivery for one low monthly fee. That's way better than the other guys that nickel and dime you every time you use their app. Forget that one ingredient you need to make Aunt Bess's spaghetti sauce? Ugh, more frustrating than a broken B string. Instacart can deliver that B string, that ingredient, right to your front door faster than a Roy Clark guitar solo. You can shop multiple stores, find deals and offers in your area to help you save money, and every item is hand-selected by shoppers based on your preferences. No more rock-hard avocados, and they'll keep that carton of eggs safe from cracking, too. To start a 14-day free trial, follow the link in today's show notes to let Instacart know that DJ Faye, that's me, sent you, and to help support Frets with DJ Faye. And remember, stay tuned.
Well, on the album Tangled Up in Blues, which was released in 1999, you did a powerful cover of Dylan's All Along the Watchtower. I won't refer to that as a tribute album because the cover art clearly states in big capital letters, "This ain't no tribute," but which I always thought was kind of funny. But I love your version of this song. Who approached you about contributing to that album?
It was a producer, John Snyder. And John Snyder, he was, from what I understand, I guess he's a world-class trumpeter. He taught trumpet in one of the jazz bands in North Carolina at the university. I don't know if it was Chapel Hill or where. But anyway, he had affiliation there. When I started doing things with him, it was first the Painted Blue songs of the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
And then we did a song, a Painted Blue tribute for Eric Clapton. And then Bob Dylan came up as well. So when Dylan came up, I had wanted to do Serve Somebody, but they had that reserved for Etta James, and I had to pick another song. And as it was that I got a chance to pick early, I picked Watchtower.
Yeah, and a great song and a great cover of that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
There's also your very cool version of Midnight Rambler by the Stones on that All Bluesed Up. There's a Rolling Stones cover album as well.
Right. Well, for me, I try to find my personality or my identity in the music the best I can. And by the fact that I am such a blues advocate, usually the interpretation turns out a little bit closer to the blues side.
Yeah. You play one hell of a guitar solo on that song on Midnight Rambler. That's great.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. I just love the music, and I'm just so happy that, people still can find some appreciation for what I do.
Yeah. I'm a big Stones fan, but you did a really sweet version on that.
Well, thank you.
Some other great artists on that album, like Mavis Staples and Taj Mahal.
Johnny Clyde Copeland, Junior Wells,
Right.
Carl Weathersby, Derek Trucks, Eric Gills. Did I say Johnny Clyde Copeland?
I think, yeah.
Uh-huh. To name some, Otis Clay, Gate Miles, Sonny Landry, Derek Trucks. It was a lot going on those things.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff. Alvin Youngblood Hart's on there too, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I learned of him years ago. I was up in Chicago, and a friend of mine and I, we were just looking to go hear some live music, and we went over to Shuba's, and turned out that Alvin was playing. We didn't really know about him or much about him at all, and it ended up being a really great show.
Oh yeah, big boy can get out, huh? Big Alvin.
You also founded your own independent record label, named after the town you were born in, Magnolia.
Magnolia Records, yes, indeed. I had a hell of a go with the labels and all, and a lot of things didn't work out. A lot of especially during that era, when the big names were still boss, man. They didn't have a lot of good things for artistry, especially if you weren't selling X amount of records or whatever like that, and if you didn't come in with a big push behind you. And after a while, it just got to the point that it was more hassle than what it was worth, and I was willing to take my own chances promoting my own music. which not necessarily was the greatest idea, but it was an option.
Well, Sonny Payne, Sunshine Sonny, who was host of the radio show King Biscuit Time in Arkansas, there's an award called the Sunshine Sonny Payne Award for Blues Excellence. And
Right.
back in 2015, I understand you were honored with that award.
That's right. And Sonny was another one of those guys who really held true to his heart. You know, his whole career. Sonny Payne was one of the first people ever playing blues music on the radio, and that's back when Rufus Thomas started in radio. Him and B.B. King both. You know, Sonny was there before both of them, and kind of brought them in. And you know, I knew Sonny for a long time from playing on the Biscuit festivals, and to get his honorarium really meant a lot because, you know, Sonny definitely, you know, stood for the blues, and he promoted it his whole life.
Yeah, that radio show was on for years.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What a lot of people don't know, too, about that King Biscuit Festival is that Levon Helm was from Forest City, which is not far from there, and he used to be up there all the time when the festival would be going on, just walking around with some black Chuck Taylors, a pair of jeans, and a white T-shirt, you know.
Oh, I love that image. Just
being Levon, having fun, you know.
I'm a big fan of the band.
So was I.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
And so I got in this band with these guys, and I was just a guitar player, you know, but we were playing gigs. I was 17 years old, and we were playing in clubs, you know. The drinking age at that time was 18. It was the Wild West, you know. And it was like, this is what I want to do. This is fun.
That's Nashville session guitarist Joe V. McMahon. You can hear my talk with Joe in Season 1 of Frets.
Hey, blues fans, this is Larry McCray, and you're listening to Frets with DJ Faye. Keep it right there.
Well, on your album, The Gibson Sessions, you used a couple of your great guitars, a Gibson Les Paul and also a Flying V. You probably have quite a few guitars, but are there any favorites or one that's like really special, a really special guitar to you?
Oh, yeah. Well, I as you mentioned earlier, I really do like Flying V guitar and the Les Paul, but I also love 335, and I love Gibson Blues Hawk as well. Those are all some of my go-tos if I have a choice about, you know, what I use. And it's just because that dynamically they have a lot of impact, and they are similar, but each one of them individually has their own voice also.
Right.
And beyond that, in the Fender brand, I love Strat, and I love Telly, and I try to use all my guitars as individual voices. So whatever the song seems like it's calling for, then that's what I use as my guide in terms of what I use on that song.
Yeah. There are some great covers on that one as well. You did stuff by ZZ Top and Creedence, even some Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I'd always wanted to do some of those songs of my interpretation of it, and to get a chance to do that and put it out to the people, that was really special for me. And I wasn't trying to, go against the grain or this and that and the other. I wasn't trying to make a statement. I just was doing some of my favorite rock tunes and doing them the way I do them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guest musicians you had on there, David Hidalgo and Dickie Betts. You mentioned Derek Trucks.
Right.
Your son also provided background vocals on that, right?
Yes, he did. And he's really doing good for himself now. He's playing guitar. He's fronting a band. And, you know, things are really going well for him right now. And I'm hoping that I can help him and, open some doors for him as well. But as far as the other special guests that were on there was a handful of people that I've known for a long time, and I never called in any favors, but on each one of them songs, like the Needle and Spoon, I think Derek made that special. I think Dickie definitely made Can't You See special. And David Hill Dahlia had a great contribution for I Am No Angel. So it worked out well in terms of what I envisioned. I just hope that the people were happy with it as well.
Yeah, you guys worked really well together. It all sounded great.
It was a lot of fun. It was a whole lot of fun.
Well, we've talked a lot about your incredible guitar playing ability, but you have one hell of a voice as well. You've got a great, great voice.
You know what? I was always a little bit intimidated about singing or never envisioned myself as being a singer. You know, I come up to an era where that, you know, in the 70s, funk music was really king. And, you know, after that, it came disco and rap and a lot of other different things. So I was not always in a fashionable position as a singer, but definitely distinguishable and identifiable because it was different than what was going on. And it took me a long time to get comfortable with singing, to try to be a singer, you know. And I'm still kind of like that. I don't just race to the microphone, but if I need to, I will.
But then once you're up there and you're in it, it just it must just all come flowing out of you.
Right, right. And like I said, you know, even now, I feel that I have come a long way. But I just love playing guitar, and I didn't even really get serious about singing until later.
Looking to buy a guitar, an amp, pedals? Find great deals on all of these as well as audio and recording gear at Reverb.com. You can also sell your gear through Reverb. They have great articles about music gear and bands. And Reverb believes music makes the world a better place. That's why they created Reverb Gives, that provides youth music education programs all over the world with the instruments they need to make music. Link to Reverb through Frets with DJ Faye in the show notes for this episode. Well, your new album, another great one, by the way, was produced by Joe Bonamassa.
Joe Bonamassa and Josh Smith, that's right. And it was really a great thing for me because I'd known them guys for quite a while and really respect what they do on a high level. You know, to have somebody like that sitting in the booth with you or to listen to you or to critique you or to maybe propose a different idea for you, you know, it was very special. It was very, very convenient and very effective to have them guys, there at the control panel.
Yeah. Well, I love that the first track on the album is simply called Arkansas, and the lyric is "Take me back to Arkansas." You obviously have a strong affinity for the place you were born.
Right. Well, you know what, a lot of people, the first thing they want to speak about is the migration. You know, a lot of people left from there and went to other places to live and to look for a better life, and that's true. But the redemption of that situation was always returning in a better position and going there for the things you love to enjoy, opposed to the things that kind of, colored it different or put a gray cast over it. You know, you get past the bad and go straight to the good. And that's kind of like what that song was about. Yeah, we come up working hard, but it was always time for a celebration, after the work was done.
Right.
Yep, and that's kind of what it's all about.
You're pretty good friends with Joe Bonamassa, right?
Yeah, Joe's a great guy, man.
Well, in just a couple weeks, you'll be heading out on tour in the States and even a few dates in Germany.
Yeah. So, everything is quite new. My management from a long, long time coming passed away about a year ago. And since that happened, I got new management, I got new booking agent, and everything just seemed to be going well, although it's still pretty new. So I figured that I'd really be able to tell the difference or feel the effects maybe a year up the road, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm just hoping that my philosophy is right and hope that I do see these changes, coming soon.
You're going to hit quite a few states on this tour.
Oh, yeah. They intend to keep me busy. I just did a thing with Devin Allman and Samantha Fish, and I was gone for about 6 weeks. So coming up this time, I think I'll be gone for 3 or 4 weeks, come back home for a couple of days, and take off and go to Europe. Come home and work a little bit more, go back to Europe with Devin Allman, come home and go out and do more. So
keeping you busy.
It's a lot going on right now. I just got to pace myself because I ain't young as I used to be.
Yeah. Well, I'm way overdue for a trip to Chicago. I used to go there all the time, but I might try to get up there for your show at the House of the Blues.
Oh, cool. Where's home for you?
St. Louis, Missouri, and it's not terribly far to get up to Chicago. It's a pretty good road trip. I mean, you can even take the train, but that's even longer. But most people just take, most people hit the road from St. Louis to go up to Chicago or hop a flight.
Right. Well, you got about the same trip to Chicago as I do. It takes you about 5 hours, don't it?
Yeah, something like that. Right around 5, yeah.
About the same distance for me.
I've been to the House of Blues in Chicago a few times. It's a great venue.
Yeah, it is. It's a real nice venue.
Now that's the one that wraps up the tour, right? This current tour, right?
Right.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. I like coffee, and I admit I've become a bit of a coffee snob. I drink coffee black because, hey, if you want to load up a cup with cream and sugar and syrups and all that, well, whatever. I want my coffee to be delicious without adding anything to it. I take the time to do pour-overs at home. I grind the beans and use my Chemex. The process is worth the wait, and when I buy beans, I buy coffee from my buddy String Bean Pete, coffee roaster and owner of String Bean Coffee. Pete's goal is to offer the finest beans from around the world. He roasts them passionately in small batches in non-computerized old-school ways to music under a disco ball. Yeah, you heard that right. He's a bit of a kook, but that's why I like him. And I really, really, really like String Bean Coffee. Find out more at stringbeancoffee.com. Well, Larry, this has been a pleasure getting to talk with you, and thank you so much for calling in today.
Oh, DJ Faye, it's my pleasure, man. I appreciate you.
I really enjoyed talking with blues legend and incredibly nice guy Larry McRae. His new album, Blues Without You, is available now. A link is provided in today's show notes. And if you're in the Chicago area or feeling the need for a road trip, Larry McRae plays the House of Blues next Saturday, June 11th. Thanks to Larry, and thanks to you for listening to this episode of Frets. Stay tuned. Thanks for listening to Frets with DJ Faye. If you like the show, you can follow or subscribe for free at most podcast platforms. Hope you'll join me again next time. Stay tuned.